Test, test. Can everybody hear me? I hope you can. That'll be a problem. Good. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're doing something very, very different. Hello, Nillers. Hello, Dorkwing. First and two. Yes, yous are number 1 and 2. Who's going to get third prize, though? I do not know. But anyway. Yes. Stream, as always, concerning its Arma and its Armor platform, although I'm talking about Armor 3, doesn't matter. As always, it is for Stack Up. If you can, please. In the chat, pinned message there, there's a little link to Tiltify. Go donate to Stack Up. Or go to the description, same link, and go there. Every little helps, as they say. But anyway, today we are talking about Arma 3 and the AAF and a little bit of the lore, and also its Orbat, or Order of Battle. So that means we're talking about the units within the AAF, like the 1st Regiment, which is the frontline regiment. There's then also the 3rd Regiment, which is the support regiment. There is no 2nd Regiment. And then there's also the AAF Air Force and also the Maritime Patrol Force we will be talking about. This was originally a video idea, but obviously never materialized because I am dumb when it comes to trying to edit something as ambitious as that. So, without further ado, the first thing I'm going to show you is this Orbat. This is the Bohemia Interactive Orbat. And as you can see, at the very top is the AAF. And then it's split off into the 1st, 2nd, Air Wing, and Maritime. And then the units that are belonging to it. That's the Bohemia Interactive Orbat. And I'm not bothered, Dorkwing. Working but listening, I feel obligated to make sure this is entertaining for your ears now. But anyway, as you see, we have a command, an A company, a B company, a C company, a D company, and an E company. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo company. They are all roughly company strength and form the basis of the 1st Regiment and all the frontline troops of the AAF. Then we have the 3rd Regiment, which is known as the Support Regiment. Yes. And this is split off into 4, you could say, companies as well. You've got the support company, a medical company, a maintenance company, and also the services company. Then we have the Air Wing, which has a command, 1st and 2nd squadrons, and a 3rd, I can't remember. And then we have the Maritime Patrol Force, right? So, the other thing I want to show you is this one. This one is actually made by a 95% rookie, if I remember correctly. I hope he doesn't mind me using this, considering I did find it, and it is credited as he made it, but it was so good I needed to use it, because it gives you what it is there. It's all there. Mechanized, support, mixed aviation, coastal patrol, under the command of Colonel Georgios Akantheros, which is obviously in Arma lore, the Dictator Revoltus. So as you can see with the 1st Regiment, the Mechanized Regiment, under it we have again the command company, under that the sub-headline headquarters. That's what that is functioning as. Alpha Company services as a motorized infantry company, as well as Bravo Company serves as a motorized infantry company. Then Charlie Company is a mechanized infantry company. Delta Company forms the armoured, as well as Echo Company as armoured. Delta and Echo are a bit different. Delta is more of the heavy armour, while Echo is more of the lighter, so all the nixes will be an Echo. By the way, I have a script for this from a video. I should actually bring that up just in case I end up missing some information and have to go back on it. I've got two scripts, the original and the revised one. Anyway, the revised one. So, we'll go over a little bit of the lore of the AAF to start off with before we move on. So, obviously, I'm going to be talking about the AAF, the lore, the ORBAT, and what they have equipment-wise and vehicles, as well as support elements. And where Bohemian Interactive draw their influences for the AAF. So to start off with, the influence for the AAF is actually the Maltese Armed Forces. And as we all may or may not be aware, yeah, Malta has an armed forces, and it's actually quite small, roughly the same size as the AAF here, but as you can see, the AAF is roughly a battalion in its entirety of 1,000 troops. Meanwhile, the Maltese Armed Forces is about 1,700 to 1,800 personnel. But that's where the Armed Forces of Malta is, where the basement of the AAF came from. So I'm going to go, later on we will look at a ORBAT I made that thankfully to Nillers gave me a website that actually helped me make it, where I kind of take a more realistic approach to it to a degree. Now, I'm not a wizard at ORBATs or anything like that, let alone a professional of military structures. Despite being in the Irish Defence Force, I'm still at the basis of infantry brained, okay? But I did go to a friend of mine to help me with the Maritime Patrol, which would make sense for the AAF and its size. Viper10, that YouTube content creator, yeah, him. I actually asked him a little bit about the air wing to help me with the air wing. He said to rename certain things. I kept it the way it was by being interactive, just so to avoid confusement for myself and others. Also, by the way, I do apologize. I would play music, but I only have copyrighted music and I don't have anything downloaded, so I couldn't get anything ready on time. So, Altus lore with the AAF background. So, obviously, battalion size defence force with an integrated air wing and maritime squadron. Their primary military arm is tasked with defending their air, land, and sea territories, also maintaining national security and stability on Altus, and also Stratus, because they don't have a police force. So, lore-wise, in May of 2026, Lieutenant Colonel Georgios Akantheros led a coup d'etat to overthrow the civilian government of Altus. He had key support from military backers on the island and within the military. He established the military junta, crushed other political opposition, and silenced dissent across Altus and Stratus. The coup then sparked a civil war between Akantheros' junta and the loyalist forces, which became a coalition of surviving government officials, anti-Akantheros factions within the Altus Armed Forces, and also citizens striving to restore the civilian governance and their freedoms. That civil war went on for 4 years, and it raged on both Altus and Stratus, and also devastated the country, crippling critical infrastructure. The war ended in 2030 with the Jerusalem ceasefire agreement, formally recognising Akantheros as the legitimate leader of Altus and Stratus. The ceasefire agreement also dissolved loyalist forces, i.e. the anti-Akantheros faction, as a political and military entity. So it basically solidified Akantheros' control of the island. So by the conflict's end, the Republic had suffered heavy casualties, with nearly half its population lost and vast portions of the country left in ruins. Also, where there's war and populations lost and left in places in the country left to ruins, it triggered a refugee crisis with many of the Altus citizens fleeing to southern European nations across the Mediterranean. So the AAF, by the time of our East Wind campaign, was under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Georgios Akantheros, who was serving both as the primary force for maintaining order and security across the Republic of Altus and Stratus. But we will go only as far as a post-Civil War and the East Wind AAF. Malta's camo is, yeah, they also have their own variant of the AK Dorkwing, which is quite weird. And also, fun fact about Malta, they send their officers to the Irish Defence Forces Cadet School. So they do the cadetship in Ireland. And we also go to South Lebanon as UN peacekeepers together, where they actually use our surplus Steyrs. Because here in Malta, they can't send their weapons abroad because they're such a small force. They need it all to defend their territories. Yeah, isn't that interesting? I've met a few Maltese cadets and exercises to get them up to standard. And they're very good people. So one of them came from a family of basically a cruise business. Yeah, rich family background, but wouldn't get any of the wealth unless she pulled her weight, quote unquote, pulled her weight by actually working to earn her inheritance, basically. So she joined the officer corps of the Maltese Armed Forces, which is very interesting. They also have better kit than the Irish Defence Forces, which is a shame. So, yeah, interesting facts. Anyway, so we'll go over again the East Wind AAF in its current structure, capabilities, and assets. So, obviously, I went through the Orbat already, where we started off with AAF Command, which would actually be led by Colonel Georgios Akantheros. He was given the call sign Phalanx. And as the commanding officer of the AAF, he also serves as the de facto president of the Republic of Altus and Stratus. Then below him is obviously the 1st and 3rd Regiments, an air wing, and also a small maritime force. So, my breakdown of the AAF looks like this. Yeah. Don't worry, by the time we get to the maritime part of the AAF, I will hide the Stack Up logo a little bit, or maybe I can just no, where is that frickin' image? Aha! I'll slightly minimize it. Oh, there we go. That'll work. So, now, bigger. No, not getting bigger. You are not getting bigger. Anyway, so I'll have to pull this image up myself so I can see it properly. Independent for life. Yes. So, this is the Orbat I made using, I think, Spatial Illusions, or something it was called. I can't remember. What was it called, Millers? I can't remember. But anyway. Obviously, so we'll start with AAF HQ. Now, the command company obviously serves as the HQ unit. It has section. I've divided it, should I say, into sections. A mortar transport, which is basically vehicle transport hub. HQ, which is the main HQ element. The medical, regimental police, a signals, and a quartermaster. Now, this structure is fully the regimental police coming under the command and that. All this comes from the Maltese Armed Forces that I looked up their Orbat and I kind of roughly copied it here. So obviously the officers are a captain, a major who leads the entire regiment, and then Colonel Acantheros himself, who is also put himself in command of the first regiment, who he actually historically, within Arma lore, if I remember correctly, was the commander of the first regiment during the Free Republic times, you could say. And I gave them 3 drivers, 1 driver for the captain, 1 driver for the major, and 1 driver for the colonel, because obviously they're officers and they need their personal drivers to bring them around. So obviously I've then put in each section, I've got 10 in the motor transport, 10 in HQ, 10 in signals, 10 in quartermasters, 5 in the medical, and 5 in the regimental police. Total personnel is 56, which includes the 3 drivers and all 3 officers. So, a little bit about the 1st Regiment. It's a light infantry, mechanized and heavy armor unit. And they are spread out across Altus as well. So, they are stationed across, if I remember correctly, Central and Eastern, and I think they've got 1 unit based in the West, and some in Stratus, helping operate Task Force Aegis during the Eastwind campaign, obviously, when we get to that part. So, moving on with Alpha Company, hopefully you can follow on with the Orbat I've got. I don't know how difficult it is for you to see, but in Alpha Company, that's what Alpha COY means. Koi means company. So this serves as the motorized infantry company. Where's the laser pointer? Unfortunately, you don't get a laser pointer. If I use the laser pointer, I think my monitor would die. I'm going to eat a square of dark chocolate here. Yummy. So, Alpha Company, I have split into, as the motorized infantry company, I've split into 4 platoons. And they're one of these smaller companies with 53 personnel only in total. Now, Alpha Company has 12 Strider MRAPs. Change my mouse to a finger. Lamau. Anyway. 12 Strider MRAPs Alpha Company has within the motorized infantry company. 8 of them are armed as 12.7mm heavy machine guns, or 50 caliber machine guns, you would say. And they're armed with 4 40mm automatic grenade launchers. And how I've structured it is 4 platoons, each with 3 Striders, 2 armed with a 12.7mm HMG, and 1 with a 40mm grenade launcher. Each platoon has 12 personnel, for a total of 48 personnel across the platoons, but once you add the captain and 4 lieutenants, the captain leading company and the lieutenants leading each platoon, you get a total of 53. Each platoon should have roughly a squad of 12, so they should have a sergeant and probably 2 corporals, and the rest are privates, basically, if I'm correct in saying that. But each squad within each platoon across the bat is led by a sergeant. Each platoon is led by a lieutenant. Simple structure. Stays the same. Fire team leaders are corporals. So that's what I'm saying. So then we move on to Bravo Company. They're a light infantry company. Now, Bravo Company are also a motorized infantry company, but they have an unspecified number of Striders and Zamak trucks in Arma lore. I decided to give them a number. So they're split into 5 platoons instead of the Alpha Company's 4 platoon split. Bravo Company gets 5 platoons with 4 Striders and 3 Zamak trucks. Each platoon has 32 personnel. Across the platoons, in total, that's 160 personnel. An officer leading the company is obviously captain, and the officers leading the platoons are lieutenants. So that means 1 captain, 5 lieutenants, and then a total personnel count of 166 personnel. Now, I did take a screenshot of a platoon of Bravo Company. This is what Bravo Company platoon looks like. Right? So, starting from the left. Yeah, they can if they want. They've got remote controlled turrets with thermal imaging, so might as well. But anyway, an unarmed Strider and a 12.7mm Strider with 4 occupants in each. That's a squad. And then another squad with an unarmed and a 12.7mm Strider. That's the front row. 2 squads are in the front row. Oh, pardon what? So 2 squads are in the front row. Both getting an unarmed and an armed Strider. Then in the back, we have 2 Zamak trucks, both with a squad each. And a squad is of 8 personnel, which is, no, I think, by the structure, it's just normal Arma. When you spawn in, vanilla Arma, you go in, Eden Editor, you spawn an AAF squad, it's just 8 people. Just 8 soldiers. There you go. That's all you need. Then of course, the lone guy over here next to the Zamak truck, that's the captain of the company. He has been given responsibility of driving the entire platoon's stores, basically, truck, which means that's their food and part of spare ammo. Now, this formation and this unit is mainly for internal security. In my head, I was saying this has to be internal security. These are the guys going out patrolling on the roads, manning checkpoints. That's them. But they're also the first line of defense in case of invasion. Hint, hint, east wind. Right? And then this is the entire company of Bravo. I also took a picture of. So, Waste? Did you misspell yeast, Nillers? And I think I wanted to create a freaking 25-minute video of this, and I'm blabbing on here, and that would have been a headache. Anyway, so this is the full company here with the 5 platoons all laid out the exact same way as I showed you with the platoon. That's just repeated 4 more times. So you have 5 platoons right there. That's the full company. On parade, you could say. With roughly, 10 armed and 10 unarmed Striders. And then obviously 9, 12 and 15 Zamak trucks. 5 of which are supply trucks, you could say, for simplicity, instead of me calling it a storage truck, but that's their supply trucks. It can also come with repairs if it wants to. Quick repair, replace tire or whatever, get it going. If you played Anti-Stasi, that'd be funny. Anyway, so going back to the Orbat, we now come to Charlie Company. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of these guys or anyone else. Yes, that is a lot of smoke grenades. And hey, the more smoke grenades, the better. You can either GTFO or flank the enemy that way better. Well, the enemy is distracted trying to shoot you through smoke. That's what smoke is used for, so you can maneuver and the enemy cannot see you. It's to offer concealment. But yeah, a frick ton of smoke, which makes sense for a patrol. If they get stopped dead in an ambush, Smoke. Dismount, try face the ambush and assault the ambush if you can. Otherwise, get out of the ambush, because you're in a kill zone, for God's sake. It is, actually. The Strider is great. I like it. It was a headache for me in the campaign, because it kept killing me with a freaking 12.7mm in the campaign. I hate Arma 3 leading AI squads. Hate it. Anyway. Charlie Company. Now, Charlie Company is the only mechanized company within the 1st Regiment, and also more or less the only one within the AAF. This company has a complement of 136 personnel, and they're equipped with 12 AFV-4 Gorgon infantry fighting vehicles. I split these guys into 3 platoons, each with 4 Gorgons IFVs each, which 12 by 3, 12 and 3, divide that down, it's 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. There you go, evenly split. Each platoon has 32 infantry soldiers and 12 crewmen. The 12 crewmen is then divided into 4. That means it's 3 crewmen per Gorgon, and then you've got 32 divided by 4 again. Pardon moi, sorry. That's a squad for each Gorgon. That's a squad of 8 now. So what you have there is 44 personnel per platoon. That is infantry, 32 infantry, 12 crewmen, equals 44 personnel per platoon, which makes up 132 personnel for the entire company. 136 personnel. Then, for the captain and 3 lieutenants leading the platoons. Then we come up to Delta Company. Now, Delta Company is the combined arms company. Delta Company has 204 personnel altogether. They have the T-140 Angara main battle tank. They have 8 MBT-52 Kuma main battle tanks, and an unspecified number of FV-720 Mora infantry fighting vehicles, and Zamak MRL, or multiple rocket launch, self-propelled multiple rocket launcher trucks. For God's sake, that is a tongue twister almost. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I've divided Delta Company into 4 platoons with a mix of MBTs, IFVs, and MRLs, multiple rocket launchers. So I have to divide it by 1st platoon has 4 Kumas, a T-140 Angara main battle tank, 4 FV-720 Moras, and 1st platoon has 55 personnel. 2nd platoon has 4 Kumas, 4 FV-720 Moras, and is totaling 52 personnel. Now, why is 1st platoon slightly bigger than 2nd platoon? Some of you might be there saying. It's because 1st platoon has the T-140 Angara, which is the only experimental tank, technically, the AAF have. So 1st platoon gets it. 2nd platoon doesn't, hence why they've got 3 less. Then we get 3rd and 4th platoons, which are the exact same. 4 FE-720 Moors and 2 Zamak MRLs, totaling 46 personnel per platoon. So that's 46 personnel, should I say. 3rd platoon, 46 personnel in 4th platoon. When you add that all up, that's 199 personnel. Then you add 5 to that for the captain and 4 lieutenants. The captain leading the company and the 4 lieutenants leading each platoon. You get 204 personnel then. So this would be mainly the ones that would support the light infantry company, the motorized infantry company of Alpha and Bravo, and also Charlie as well with the mechanized infantry. Considering they have 2 Zamak MRLs, that means they have some fire support capabilities and also some punch to them. Now, with the 1st regiment, we come to the very last company, that is Echo Company. Echo Company serves as a light armor and fire support company. They have 58 personnel. They are equipped with 24 AWC Nix light tanks and 1 T-140 Angara main battle tank. Oh, I misspoke. They have 2. But anyway, how generous. They are split into 6 platoons, Echo Company is. They have 24 light tanks and 1 experimental tank. So first platoon has 4 Nix light tanks. I gave it 2 recons and 2 autocannon types and variants, you could say. So that's 2 recon Nix light tanks and 2 autocannon Nix light tanks. They need a total of 8 crewmen for this platoon, because in a vehicle formation, anywhere between 3 and even 6 vehicles can make up a platoon. It doesn't matter how many people or crew are doing for this platoon, it is the vehicles. So 4 Nix light tanks, 1 platoon. That's the first platoon. Then I changed it up a little bit for second, third and fourth platoon, which have 4 Nix light tanks each. And each of second, third and fourth platoon are getting 2 autocannon variant Nix light tanks and 2 anti-tank Nix light tanks, which means they also have 8 crewmen per platoon. 5th and 6th platoons, you know what, I'll actually tell you, I've never driven around in the Nix before, and I've got over, I think, 1,600 hours in Arma 3. And not once have I driven on Nix. Maybe that should change. Jesus Christ, I've been playing too much multiplayer. But anyway, so for the 5th and 6th platoon, each again 4 Nix light tanks. But this time it's 3 anti-air variants and 1 reconnaissance variant for 5th and 6th platoon. 8 crewmen per platoon again. And once we do the math, yes, 8 by 6, 8 crewmen per platoon, which is 6 platoons, multiply 8 crewmen by 6 platoons, you get 48 crewmen to man those Nix tanks. And then you have to add on the 3 crewmen for the Angara. Then you also add the captain and 6 lieutenants, who would lead each platoon, who would actually, in first platoon, for example, the lieutenant leading first platoon will be either in a recon or a autocannon. For second, third, and fourth, he'll be in an autocannon. And for the 5th and 6th, he'll most likely be in the recon. So we have 58 personnel in total for Echo Company. Now, the total count for the first regiment, adding up all the companies, is 673 personnel. 673. That doesn't leave us with very much room for 1,000 in the AAF lore for Arma 3. Then we have vehicles. Let's go by vehicle breakdown, shall we? So, they have 35 Strider MRAPs, 19 Zamak trucks, 12 AFV-4 Gorgon IFVs, 16 FV-720 Mora IFVs, 8 MBT-52 Kuma MBTs, 2 T-140 Angara MBTs, 24 AWC Nix light tanks, and 4 Zamak MRLs, totaling 120 vehicles. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. So that's their front line. Yeah, the Gorgon is amphibious. Yeah. The Gorgon is amphibious. Yes. How did I forget about that? Thank you, Dorkwing, for reminding me the Gorgon is amphibious. I forgot about that. Thank you, Dorkwing. Anyway, It is very versatile. Versatility is very important for any army to have nowadays, really. You need to be able to move, you need to be versatile in your movements, but also you need to be versatile with how you use your weapons and how you implement those vehicles. Land, sea, or any body of water, to be honest with you, for the Gorgon, huge advantages. So now, we'll continue with the 3rd Regiment, also known as the Support Regiment. Now, the 3rd Regiment consists primarily of battlefield logistics and field support troops. They have a limited fire support capability. Unlike the 1st Regiment, most of the 3rd Regiment is actually stationed in the western region of Altis under the command of Major Thanos Gavras. Yes, that's right, Thanos Gavras. No, it's not the same Thanos from Marvel. He doesn't do this snippy snip and everyone half the earth disappears. No, that's a different guy. So they're organized then into what are called 4 squadrons. They're each led by a AAF captain. So the support squadron has a mix of light infantry and logistics, equipped with 12 Zamak trucks and 15 armed and unarmed Strider MRAPs. It's never specified how many of those 15 are armed or unarmed, but for our purposes, I say they have this unarmed for the entire company and this unarmed Strider in the company. So I put it what makes sense. Considering this squadron, I'm split into 4 platoons with 3 squads each. I have given 1st platoon the role of dedicated security unit with 4 total armed Striders and 2 unarmed Striders. Now, they have 3 12.7mm HMGs and 1 40mm automatic grenade launcher. So, 1st squad, don't forget a squad is 8 personnel, has 1 12.7mm HMG Strider and 1 unarmed. 2nd squad is the same as 1st. 3rd squad has 1 12.7mm Strider and 1 40mm automatic grenade launcher to support them. So what I've done is 1st squad and 2nd squad are more of a maneuver, while 3rd squad is more of the suppressive fire support squad of 1st platoon. 1st platoon is the platoon that is dedicated to defending the logistics platoons. So that means 2nd platoon, which is also divided into 3 squads with 8 men in each, again, has been given 1 12.7mm HMG Strider and 1 unarmed Strider in 1st squad for 2nd platoon. In 2nd squad, 2nd platoon, they get 1 unarmed Strider and 1 Zamak truck. Now, they have a driver, they've got 2 passengers in the cab next to the driver, and then we get the guy that everyone hates in the squad who goes in the rear as a passenger instead. Then we have 3rd squad, which get 3 Zamak trucks. So that means 3rd squad of 2nd platoon are all drivers mainly. Yeah, everyone hates him, he goes to the rear. Nobody wants to talk to him. The driver and the 2 cab guys, yeah, they want to talk to each other. Everyone in the Strider and 2nd squad, they're talking to each other, having a great time, you know. And then there's Larry in the back of the Zamak truck. Nobody likes Larry. He's annoying, apparently. Why they give him the name Larry? I wonder. Should we call him Nillers instead? Hey, the rear passenger is now referred to as Nillers. We get 1 Nillers in the rear passenger of the Zamak truck for 2nd squad, 2nd platoon. Anyway, 3rd squad gets given 3 Zamak trucks, which is 1 repair, 1 fuel, and 1 ammo. So that means they get 3 drivers, 4 cab passengers, and another Larry and a Nillers in the back again. Third platoon is then the exact same as second platoon. And fourth platoon is again the exact same as second and third platoon. So this setup idea gives support squadron approximately, if I'm remembering correctly with my math, 97 personnel, with all platoons comprising of 24 men. And then when you add on the AAF captain and the 4 AAF lieutenants leading each platoon in the support squadron, the entire support squadron has a total of 102 personnel. Which, might add, is quite a weird number for a company, because a company in reality is anywhere, even with let's say Alpha Company, who has 53 people, normally a company is anywhere at minimum 90 personnel or 120, usually for most militaries. Now, a company can go up to 200. If it can, it'll go up to 200. That's usually what happens. That's real world shit, right? But we're ignoring that because this is Altus and Stratus. I don't know what the population of Altus and Stratus is. You know, I'm going to assume there's probably about 50,000 before the war. And now there's about 25,000. You know? So, oh well. But apparently their town village decided to go and join the AAF, and he became Larry in the back of the rear passenger of the Zamak truck, all alone, twiddling his thumbs. Now I'm rambling. But anyway, support squadron, 102 personnel. We get to the, in my opinion, a very important squadron, which is the medical squadron. Now, medical squadron, self-explanatory, provides medical support, and also I've given it to include several Zamak medical trucks. So I structure it as first platoon actually operates a small field hospital with 4 Zamak trucks, 3 medical and a transport variant. It's staffed with 43 medics, doctors and surgeons. And the field hospital can handle up to 100 casualties. Now, the reason why I say field hospital, a small field hospital with capabilities of holding up to 100 casualties, is because the medical squadron can actually be used for natural disasters. You know, it could be used for overseas humanitarian work. It can also then be used as a frontline field hospital for the AAF. So it's a very important squadron to have, because it very much can be used every time something's happening, even at peacetime. Then we have the second and third platoons, which are just each comprising of 4 medical Zamak trucks and 12 combat medics. Now, the second and third platoons would go out to the front lines and collect the most seriously wounded and bring them back to the small field hospital, to where they have doctors and surgeons and other medics to attend to them. That's the way the medical squadron would work. So they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, the front line. Once we add the AAF captain, who leads the medical squadron, and the 3 lieutenants, the medical squadron will consist of approximately 71 personnel and has 12 Zamak trucks. Then we have the maintenance squadron, another very important squadron. The maintenance squadron is self-explanatory. It handles repairs and maintenance for all Altus Armed Forces, vehicles, and communications equipment. No bother, Dorkwing. Thank you for joining, and also don't forget it'll play, or you can watch it anytime, maybe 4 or 5 times if you want. Later, tomorrow, 2 hours. But anyway, thanks for joining, and thanks for lurking. Anyway, so I've divided maintenance squadron with are reliant on 9 Zamak trucks, so they can have some flexibility getting around, because obviously they're maintenance squadron, they're probably based not in one area, but probably have to go out to areas. So, first and second platoons are mainly the vehicle maintenance teams. So, they're each equipped with 2 repair Zamaks and a transport Zamak. Both first and second platoon number 46 personnel, having a combined total of 92 for first and second. That's 92. Then we have a third platoon with responsibility for the maintenance and repair of the communications, with access to 3 transport Zamaks. The third platoon numbers 40 personnel. Why so big? They're only handling repairs and maintenance of communications equipment and that. Well, you've got to work in a shift type of rotation as well. So you've got to say 10 one day, 10 the next, 10 the next, 10 the next. That way they have at least 3 days off and there's a work-life balance. That's why I'm working it for that one. Which means maintenance squadron's where you want to be. So the arrangement that I've done there also means that there's 136 personnel in maintenance squadron. When you add the AAF captain leading maintenance squadron and the 3 AAF lieutenants leading each platoon, you get a combined total of 136 personnel. The maintenance squadron also just meets the minimum standard as it lacks recovery vehicles, but they are capable of maintaining the AAF vehicles. That includes the Gorgons and everything, and the Moras and the Kuma MBTs. They mightn't have recovery vehicles, but they can still go out and do on-field repairs if need be. That's if it's safe to do so. But that's the only thing they can do. So this structure will lead to a possible uptick in loss of vehicles because they do not have a vehicle recovery. Tongue, stop doing weird things. Anyway, they don't have a recovery vehicle. And I've done this intentionally, not including a recovery vehicle, because they see it as, oh, we meet the minimum standard, that's okay. Our main focus is combat strength, which is the 1st Regiment, and making sure they're capable of defending and securing our national security. So then we have the very last squadron of 3rd Regiment, which is the Service Squadron. Now, this is their combat engineering unit. They facilitate mobility for friendly forces and also hinder enemy movement. So, I divide it as follows. A mobility platoon, which contains the squads specialising in terrain obstacle clearing, road and bridge construction, and also demining. Then we have the counter mobility platoon, which is squads focusing on planting landmines, demolishing infrastructure, and also handling demolitions. Then we've got the construction platoon. They're responsible for fortification building, so they construct the outposts, camp installations, and also roadblocks. Or checkpoints, even. Then we've got the General Engineer Support Platoon, which includes a team of EOD, which is Explosive Ordnance Disposal. They're the guys that go out to disarm and make safe IEDs and other explosives like landmines or UXOs. You've got a CBRN Defense Squad, which is the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense. And then we have another squad that's firefighting and rescue tasks. So they'll be at the mainly capable of doing on-site rescues in case of a earthquake, and also they're capable of doing firefighting. So that means they can do fires, particularly if you need a firefighting unit, particularly based in the air wing side of things and where they're based. So you're going to need a firefighting squad or force to combat any potential fires, because accidents do happen. So in the 4 platoons I've done for the service squadron, which has 3 squads each, really, and I've given them 8 Zamak trucks assigned to the squadron. Altogether, they comprise 113 personnel. That also includes the AAF captain that leads the service squadron, and also the 4 AAF lieutenants that lead each platoon. So, in conclusion, the 3rd Regiment is comprising of 376 personnel. Then the number of vehicles they have is 97. Breakdown, 15 Strider MRAPs, 41 Zamak trucks of all type, of just a transport type, I think. No, 41 Zamak trucks all across the board, divided down into 12 medical Zamaks, 4 repair Zamaks, and 25 transport Zamaks, which also include the fuel and ammo variants in that 25, which gives a total of 41 Zamaks. That means that's 97 total vehicles. Now, if you're very good at math and you've been paying attention, which I highly doubt you have been, because I've been rambling for almost an hour, that means the 1st Regiment and the 3rd Regiment combined now number 1,049 personnel. That's actually 49 more than the lower cap of roughly 1,000 personnel. So that means from here on we're talking about the Air Wing and the Maritime Patrol Force. So obviously it's going to get bigger. How much bigger? Well, let's find out. So, the Air Wing, the primary air force of the AAF. I'm going to take a quick drink. Pepsi Max, lovely. So the Air Wing has divided them into a command section, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd air squadrons. And the squadrons consist of various fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft, helicopters primarily dedicated to logistical airlift. Each squadron is led by an AAF captain. So, let's break down. Command section. The command section serves as the headquarters for the Air Wing. They're based at Altus International Airport on the mainland, and it's tasked with the command, control, and coordination of the squadrons. They're also ensuring readiness and handling transport management, logistics procurement, and also human resource administration, or HR administration. While the exact personnel count is unspecified in the lore, I will say there's 151 personnel in the command section alone. So I divided them into 1. We have the commanding officer of the Air Wing, will hold the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, the same rank as Georgios Akantheros, where they have an ATC, or air traffic control, with 30 men, a transport management section or group with 40 men, a logistics procurement group of 40 men, and a human resources / HR administration of 40 men. Then we get to the 1st fighter squadron. Now, this is where mainly Viper 10 came in for me. So, the 1st fighter squadron, I think he said to keep it like that. While the helicopter squadron, known as the 2nd helicopter, he just said put it as the 1st helicopter squadron, if I remember correctly. If Viper does end up watching this, please correct me if I'm wrong. If you remember, I highly doubt that though, because I can't remember. It's been that long. Anyway, so the 1st fighter squadron, what's it consist of? What's it responsible for? Well, it's responsible for defending the Republic of Altus Stratus airspace. Operates 10 aircraft, 5 A-143 Buzzard light attack jets, and 5 A-149 Griffin multi-role fighter jets. Already the AAF is far more capable of waging war than the Irish Defence Forces is. Each aircraft requires 1 pilot. They're both stationed at Stratus Air Base and Altus International Airport. There are 30 aircrew for continuous 24/7 coverage for alerts. And also to support the squadron, I added in the first aircraft maintenance unit. Oh my god, if you can hear fireworks, I do apologise. It is getting to that time of year already. Have you stopped blowing frickin' the sky up? Yes, I believe they have. Anyway, where was I? So yes, we added on this to support the first fighter squadron, the first aircraft maintenance unit. Obviously, aircrafts need maintenance. Like, I think 95% of the time, every aircraft is in getting maintained. You know, there are certain aircraft that can fly for 6 hours, but every time they fly for 6 hours, they have 24 hours worth of maintenance to maintain it and keep it functioning, right? So, obviously, it's in the name. They're responsible for the maintenance, supply, and administration of the aircraft. So, this unit includes 40 personnel, 32 of which are used for... I do apologise, there's more fireworks. I don't know if you can hear it. If you can, I do apologise. Anyway, rude. Anyway, so the first aircraft maintenance unit includes 40 personnel, 32 for maintenance and supply, and 8 for admin, bringing the first fighter squadron's total strength to 71 personnel when you add in the AAF captain that leads it. And each pilot is a lieutenant rank. So you got 10 lieutenants and a captain that also maintains everything, looks over the aircraft, make sure everyone's trained up properly on it, keeping up to date, make sure it's great and capabilities are held, also while leading the aircraft maintenance unit. Now, I put down where the aircraft maintenance unit is led by some sort of senior NCO. That makes sense. Like, for example, a quartermaster sergeant would make sense here to lead this, and he, under him, will have a couple sergeants, maybe anywhere between 4 or 5 sergeants, with the rest being privates and corporals and privates, right? Fireworks, frick off. I am live streaming. Anyway, in the HR department, probably. Yeah, probably privatized that to India. Maybe they done it for China instead. Ha ha ha. Arma 3 lore. Ha 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 ha. CSAT. Ha ha. I'm a very funny guy. Anyway, so the fighter squadron has 71 personnel in total. Then we get to the helicopter squadron, or the second helicopter squadron. They obviously manage the helicopters. They do airlift missions. They do logistical delivering of supplies and personnel. So it operates 4 WH-55 Hellcat utility helicopters. Each are armed with rocket pods and a 7.62mm minigun. Packing some teeth. Anyway, with a crew of a pilot and a co-pilot and room for 6 passengers, the squadron's aircrew totals 24 men stationed across mainland Altus. Obviously, they have a maintenance and support unit called the 2nd Aircraft Maintenance Unit. Oh, very, very wise, James. Very good. Yeah, it's not like it's a copy-paste from the first Aircraft Maintenance Unit. You just put a 2 instead. Anyway, adds another 40 personnel, again split the same way as the first aircraft maintenance unit, bringing the total of the 2nd helicopter squadron personnel count to 65. That also includes the AAF captain. The 3rd support squadron handles all the airlift logistics. Actually, we went through that one already, didn't we? No, we did not. Airlift logistics, yes. So the 3rd support squadron, I'm getting confused here, Jesus. The 3rd support squadron handles airlift logistics. It includes supply, delivery, personnel transport, medevac or medical evacuation, so emergency medical evacuations, and more. They operate 4 WY-55 Hellcat utility helicopters and 4 CH-49 Mohawk, which are kind of like a Chinook, but they're Arma 3 2025 lore. Better Chinooks, medium lift helicopters. The Mohawk medium lift helicopters have a pilot, co-pilot, and a capacity of 16 passengers. That's 2 squads. They're stationed across Stratus Air Base and Altus International Airport. The squadron's aircrew totals 48 personnel. They also get the 3rd Aircraft Maintenance Unit, which supports the squadron with an additional 40 personnel split the same way as the other 2 Aircraft Maintenance Units, bringing the 3rd Squadron total to 89 personnel, including the AAF captain. So that means the AAF Air Wing consists of 376 personnel across its command section, fighter squadron, and 2 helicopter squadrons. This includes dedicated aircrew and maintenance support units, providing the AAF with some comprehensive air defense, logistical airlift, and medevac capabilities. The command section handles the operational and administrative needs of the air wing, while each squadron is staffed to ensure 24/7 readiness and support for ground operations. The entire AAF added together at this point, which includes the 1st Mechanized Regiment, the 3rd Support Regiment, and the AAF Air Wing, totals approximately 1,425 personnel. Now we come up to the last, the Maritime Squadron. Now the Maritime Squadron, I had no idea how to do, to be honest with you. I'm not a sailor. I've no real experience with sailors, so I asked a friend of mine from Singapore who serves in the Singapore Navy. And he went over this and said, yeah, this'll do. This'll do for a small nation that isn't looking to do anything massive or big, just wants to keep its waters protected from smuggling operations and that. So I gave it a bit of flair and that. So the Maritime Squadron, I've divided into a main operational unit and a support unit. So the main unit handles maritime patrol and law enforcement at sea, while the maritime support unit provides essential maintenance, logistics, and administrative support for the Maritime Squadron. So the main unit role is patrol, surveillance, and law enforcement. Their equipment and vessels, they're equipped with 20 armed speedboats. Each speedboat has a crew of 3, which is a driver, commander, and rear gunner, and can carry up to 8 additional passengers. Now, the speedboat is the actual armed vanilla speedboat that you see in Arma 3. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. For those that don't know, let me see if I can get it real quick, actually. Oh, God. Thank you, Armed Assault Wiki fandom. Go away, go away, go away. Here we go. I'm going to save this image as a PNG. And I'm going to call it... not that. Jesus, bear with me, everybody. And I'll put it into downloads. There we go. Go away. Go away. I'll have to make a new source. Give me 2 seconds. This shouldn't take long. Hopefully. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. There it is. Da 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 da. I have it. I'll make it bigger for you guys so you can see it in its glory. So that's roughly what it is. It can accommodate 8 passengers, as I've said. It comes with gunner, commander, and also driver. Yes, driver, commander, and rear gunner. Yes, the commander would actually be doing the front turret there, which is a 40mm grenade launcher. That's actually commanded with a control panel somewhere on this boat. I can't remember where. If Niller's still here, he'll tell you. But anyway, that's what it is there. Take a good look at it and bye. Anyway. So yeah, that's the speedboat. They have 20 of them. Is used for patrol, defense, and rapid response. I've given them 10 inflatable assault boats, which is just think of a rowboat, but it's inflatable with a freaking engine. There you go. It has a crew for 1 driver and 4 passengers, so that means there's 5 personnel per inflatable assault boat. Now, therefore, actual rapid and tactical insertion for infantry teams onto land. Now, let's talk about the naval base operations. Now, Stratus Air Base provides dock facilities and assets are likely distributed across Altus and Stratus for a more full maritime coverage for security reasons. And there is no actual lore naval type of base there, which I hope Arma 4, if it does have anything to do with naval assets, they better have some part of the map with naval shit in it. Anyway, personnel and structure for the support unit. Right. So the base operation and the support unit, they have a speedboat crew. So the support unit has a speedboat crew, which are 120 personnel. They are allocated to operate the 20 speedboats. This allows for 8 speedboats on active patrol, 8 in rotation, and 4 in reserve for emergencies. That ensures continuous coverage. That means there are 60 crew needed at any one time. Yeah, at any one time. So that means there's 120 personnel. The staffing level allows for rotating shifts and a balanced work-rest cycle, which is suitable for 24/7 readiness. I've also given them an infantry platoon, which you can call the Marine platoon if you want, but I ain't calling it that. I'm calling it more of a maritime law enforcement, tactical operations, or emergency response platoon, because it's a 40-man platoon, for God's sake. Their role is to use the 10 inflatable assault boats, and they can deploy on up to 5 of the speedboats as well, if needed, for an armed operations. That means they can enforce maritime law. They can do tactical operations from amphibious operations, so from sea to land, and also they can do emergency responses. So think what's that movie called? I forget. I actually forget the movie. Is it Captain Phillips? Is it Phillips? Captain Phillips? I don't know. Somebody in chat will correct me. It has Tom Hanks in it. Actually, that doesn't narrow it down. Tom Hanks is in many movies like that. But anyway. So, the total personnel for the main unit is 120 speedboat crew and 40 infantry platoon members. That's 160 personnel there. So, the maritime support unit is mainly structured into 4 what I call divisions, totaling 55 personnel. So the maintenance division has 20 personnel. They have 12 marine technicians. They handle engine and hull maintenance for both speedboats and assault boats. They have 4 weapons specialists which maintain and service onboard weapons. They have 4 electronics technicians which handle radar, communications, and navigation systems on the vessels, boats. I don't know, I'm not a sailor, but boats. Logistics and Supply Division has 20 personnel. They have 6 logistics coordinators. They oversee supply requests, inventory, and logistics management. They've got 4 ammunition handlers. So they manage munition storage and distribution. They also have 6 fuel specialists, which ensure all the boats are fueled and ready. They also keep a count on the fuel and also get in more fuel if need be. And then there's the quartermasters. They have 4. They track and manage general supplies, spare parts, and emergency provisions. We've got an operational support division with 12 personnel. Operations officers, 4 operations officers. They're responsible for mission planning, scheduling, and debriefing. They have 4 administrative assistants. They manage personnel records and schedules. They have 4 communication specialists, which maintain secure communications with command centers. They have a medical and safety division, which has only 6 personnel. They have 1 doctor, which provides medical care and emergency response, and 3 medics who support basic medical care and response. They have also 2 safety officers. They conduct safety inspections and obviously fire drills and protocols. So the total personnel for the Maritime Support Unit is 55. That means in total, the Maritime Squadron in its entirety is 215 personnel. So with the structure that I've laid out there, it's well suited to the Altus Armed Forces operational needs. The distribution of roles and responsibilities aligns with the tasks expected of a small defense unit, maritime patrol unit. And then we combine the 1st Mechanized Regiment with 673 personnel, the 3rd Support Regiment with 376 personnel, the AAF Air Wing with 372 personnel, and now the Maritime Squadron with 215 personnel, comprising 1,636 personnel, which obviously exceeds Arma 3's AAF lore for roughly a battalion sized of 1,000 personnel in the entire AAF, which means that's 636 personnel more. God damn. As you can also see, I gave them the appropriate symbols, based on NATO standards. So obviously the what's it called? The key is a quartermaster. A wheel looking symbol that's to do with transport. The lightning bolt is signal section. MP, military police, so that's the regimental police section. A plus, obviously a medical section. Alright. The X with a line going down the middle, that's a motorized infantry unit. A oval with an X going through it, that's a mechanized. An oval is an armored unit, etc, etc, etc. So, I don't know if I've got anything else there for that one. Let me see. Oh God, no. Yeah, that's more or less it there. We will go over now the equipment of the AAF. So it's more or less their armory, really. So they have I have multiple weapons. So they've got a handgun, which is shot in 45 ACP, called the ACP-C2. They have an anti-material sniper rifle, which is a 12.7 by 108 millimeter, I think Russian round, which is called the GM6 Lynx. They have a Moss Mark IV Mod 0 rocket launcher, which is an 84 millimeter anti-tank. Think Carl 84 millimeter Carl Gustav, and there you go. They have a Mark 18 ABR, which is a designated marksman's rifle. Fires the NATO 762x51 caliber. They have the Mark 20 bullpup assault rifle, firing the NATO 556x45 millimeter. They also have a carbine version of that, firing the exact same round. And then they have a Mark 200 light machine gun, which is firing the actual more modern 6.5 by 39 millimeter round caliber / caliber. They have a PCML. It's an anti-tank missile launcher. It's 150 millimeters in diameter. Now the PCML stands for Person Carried Missile Launcher. It's a portable, short range, fire and forget anti-tank guided missile. So it's a soft launch system, allowing it to be used from within an enclosed room. So it's kind of like an NLAW. No, it basically is an NLAW. Okay? There are no other variants of it. But I know NATO, CTRG, AAF, LDF, and MJTF from which is the Marine Joint Task Force from Expeditionary Forces, should I say, were sort of the guys that came in and invaded after, the East Winds, during the East Wind event. So then they have an SMG called the PDW 2000 as far as a 9x21mm round. Then they have the RPG-42 rocket launcher, and they have the SDAR or SDAR as I call it. It's an underwater bullpup assault rifle, basically, firing the 5.56x45 underwater round. It can also fire the 5.56x45mm NATO. Then everyone should be familiar with the Titan surface-to-air missile launcher and also the Titan anti-tank missile launcher. Right, obviously one is anti-tank, fires like a javelin, and the other one is a surface-to-air missile, fires like a Stinger or a Igla. There we go. That's their armory. Their motor pool, which is their vehicle pool, as I've said, I've gone over this. They have an A143 Buzzard, which is the light attack jet. It has 7 weapons pylon hard points, and it is a close air support variant, has access to a laser designator. Then we have the A149 Griffon, which is a multi-role fighter jet. It came with the Jets DLC, and is an exclusive vehicle, I think, still to the Jets DLC. It has 6 weapons pylon hardpoints. Then we have the AFV Fort Gorgon, which is an infantry fighting vehicle. It's amphibious, as mentioned by Dorkwing, and can transport up to 8 passengers. They also have a small UAV. It's from the Laws of War DLC. It is autonomous. It can disperse information leaflets, and that is the AL-6 Pelican. Obviously, they have the rubber inflatable boat, the assault boat, up to 4 passengers. And then they have the AWC Nix light tank. That came with the Tanks DLC, exclusive vehicle. It's a highly adaptive combat vehicle that can be retrofitted for different roles like AA, anti-tank, reconnaissance. Also data link enabled, and also no transport. It cannot transport any passengers at all. Drink. Then we have the CH-49 Mohawk, the medium lift transport utility helicopter. It can transport up to 16 passengers and can utilize sling loading. Then we have a UGV/UGCV, the C stands for combat, which is an unmanned ground vehicle or manned ground combat vehicle. It's the ED-1 Mini UGV. Now, I never mentioned this because I didn't know where to put the drones as well, by the way, but you just assume that they have some sort of way to operate them. That's what I'm doing. Whenever they can. I'm operating on the assumption that, the average AAF soldier probably has multiple army courses done. He can go and fly the Pelican. He can go and use the mini UGV, basically. That's why I think of it. It's autonomous from the Contact DLC as well. It can destroy... I think it has a civilian and a military version, if I'm correct. Obviously, the civilian version can't really do all that much, if I'm correct. But the military can destroy landmines and explosives with a shotgun round, or shell, should I say. Then there's the, I can't remember because I've got no real experience with it. The FE 720 Mora, the IFV, transports 7 passengers and is obviously an IFV as an autocannon. Then we have the UAV UCAV, so that's a unmanned aerial vehicle or unmanned combat aerial vehicle. It's the K-40 Ababil 3. It's autonomous, has 2 weapon pylon hardpoints, and is a semi-stealth against radar. Then we come to the MBT-52 Kuma, the main battle tank. No transport, capable of transporting any passengers, obviously. Then there's the quad bike. They have a quad bike for all terrain. That's a 2-man job, a driver and 1 passenger. They have a SDV, which is the submersible that you use in the thing. Is a diver propulsion vehicle. So 2 passengers. The commander can utilize an observational periscope and also has a laser designator, if I remember correctly. Strider, of course. MRAP. I believe the Strider amphibious, by the way. I haven't checked. I feel like it is. Why am I thinking it's amphibious? Yeah, maybe somebody can tell me if it is or isn't. Anyway, the commander can utilize an observation periscope. It's got unarmed variant, can transport up to multiple passengers, and then the armed variants can only transport a single passenger. Apparently. But we're ignoring that and treat it more like a Humvee, but better. Then there's a speedboat, obviously. It's a light patrol vessel. It can transport up to 8 passengers. It has a commander, driver, and a rear gunner. There's the Tyran AR-2 small UAV. It's autonomous, has a laser designator, and uses visual sensor to detect infantry. There's the UGV Stomper. It's autonomous and can also transport a single passenger, i.e. a casualty. There's the WY, should I say, 55 Hellcat, the utility helicopter. It can transport up to 6 passengers. It has 2 weapon pylon hardpoints and can also do sling loading. There's also the Zamak utility truck and the Zamak MRL self-propelled rocket artillery system. Yeah, self-explanatory. Don't need to do anything else there. So yeah, that's the AAF Arsenal Orbat, a little bit of the lore, and my Orbat, basically. If you want more information, if you want, or say, you can go to the Armed Assault fandom wiki and just go AAF Orbat, Arma 3, and you'll find the 1st Regiment with all the company's assets it has and all. This is where I got my information mainly from. It has also the 3rd Regiment underneath that, and then it has others, which includes the Maritime Squadron and the Air Wing Command, Air Wing 1st Fighter Squadron, Air Wing 2nd Fighter Squadron, and the Air Wing 3rd Support Squadron, and all the information there, if you want to read up on it yourselves. Now, for me as well, for Altus in general, right, is I was trying to see if I could, get a population. And to be honest with you, I couldn't, really. I couldn't. It's, because there's no specified population. That's a good thing for BI as well. There's no specified population. Pardon what? You'll find certain places where Altus alone having approximately 40,000 people on it. And Stratus is depopulated, obviously, because of the Civil War. But I've also seen people say, oh, there's approximately 200,000 on Altus, while Stratus is a militarized island with no civilian population. The majority of the population I know is the capital city of Pyrgos. And then it's spread around. So there's roughly 40,000 people. Maybe even at most 200,000 people, according to some people's math, which I don't trust. But I don't know where the 40,000 is coming from either, to be honest with you. I think it might be coming from the fandom. Oh yes, it is. The Slick Fiction fandom. Yes. They're making up bullshit, maybe. Because I don't remember it. Let me see. This is interesting. Yeah, population unknown, really. It is unknown. Yeah, so... Yeah, unknown. It is unknown. To me, I like to think that there was maybe about 60,000 people before the Civil War living on Altus and Stratus, and about half of them left during the Civil War or were killed in that, while those who were refugees, about 10,000 of them would come back then to inhabit Altus, really. So that's what, 33% of the island, of the country's population gone in a civil war. So yeah, but to me, I think you could probably do it on Altus and Stratus like that. Anyway, I'll take questions. If anyone has questions, by all means, ask them. If you have questions about the Orbat and other things related to that, I may be able to answer. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna have another square of dark chocolate. I've got 2 left after this. Oh yes. Ba-da-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Yeah. Also, guys, if you don't know, I got accepted into the Arma Reforger creator program. Yeah. If you want more Reforger streams or anything, please let me know. I'll try to think of some way to make them entertaining without it being weird or whatever. Or maybe you want me to stream the Reforger campaign, which is on experimental. Yeah, branch still, because it's part of the 1.6 update, and I don't even think 1.5 has come out yet. So yeah, I'm now a... Getting rid of notifications here. Sorry, guys. Bunch of notifications came up on my phone, and I need to get rid of it. Yeah. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, so I get access to, I don't know, Steam keys, console keys and codes or whatever, and also invited to things, and also my content gets pushed by the Arma platform social media accounts if I meet certain requirements, I think, or something, because it's on Lurkit. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be able to, considering Lurkit is not a very good website. But anyway, if you do want more Arma Reforger stuff, please let me know. I'll stream or record a video about it. So, probably stream. So, yeah. No, I don't want to remove 2 items. I just want to remove this one, please. Just this one. Just this one, please. Thank you. Remove. Goodbye. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything at all. I don't think I am. No. I don't think I'm missing anything. I've checked. I don't think I'm missing anything. Honestly, do not think I'm missing anything. Yeah. There we go. I don't think I'm missing anything. That's an hour and 30 minutes it took me to go over all that. Oh, Jesus. Imagine trying to make a video about that with freaking ways to freaking give you visuals, you know? God damn. Man said you get a worse PowerPoint presentation, okay? But anyway, so what do you say we do for the next probably hour? Maybe I have. Don't know. What should I do for the next hour? End stream. Get recommendations off you guys. Gonna delete a few things from here because I don't need it. Yes. I've got a talking scene, but let's see what that is like, because I actually haven't looked at it. That's the starting soon. No, I want talking scene. Oh, okay, that's what it looks like. Oh, okay. Chat and whatever. Webcam, probably. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll never use webcam. Never use webcam. Anyway. I'm gonna put the rest of this dark chocolate away before it melts on me. Give me 2 seconds. Because I can only have 6 squares because that's a portion. Anyway. I don't see any questions about the Orbat or anything else, so I think I will call it there then. Anyway, guys, if you haven't watched me live and you're coming from the VOD or video size of things from this live stream, please, by all means, let me know in the comments about your thoughts on my Orbat and other things about the Bohemia Orbat and what you think could improve it based on the population and that. If you donated to the Tiltify for Stack Up's Call to Arms 2025 and to Arma Platform's Don't Fight Alone initiative, which I'm part of the Arma Platform team of Don't Fight Alone campaign for that, thank you for donating if you have. If you can, please do consider donating. If you can't donate, then please consider sharing it. To your siblings, your parents, your friends, if you have any of them. I don't know if you touch grass or not. Or to your cat, your dog, or your goldfish that hopefully you haven't flushed down the toilet. So, anyway, without further ado, we will end the stream here. Because otherwise, it'll just become awkward silence. So, I will actually... Will I see yous on Saturday? That is a good question for me, actually. Will I see yous on Saturday this time? Let's have a look at the good old schedule. Because I don't want to say, oh, I'll be back on Saturday and I'm not here. What is Saturday? What date is Saturday? Oh, pardon what? The 18th. The 18th of October. And guess what, guys? I will most likely see you on Saturday the 18th. Yes, I will. So yeah, 18th this Saturday. I will see you guys for the usual Arma 3 Void session. Again for a stack up. So without further ado, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. I will see you on Saturday. Thank you if you donated. Thank you if you shared. Thank you if you commented. Goodbye for now.